Today on In the Wood Yard, it's a processor day. We're going to make little pieces of wood. We're going to do some smallerization. Here we go. It is a beautiful day here in the wood yard. It's not raining. A little bit of breeze would be nice. It's supposed to be 90 degrees later today. Right now it's only about 75, so it's actually really nice, but it's going to heat up. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to process a bunch of wood. I have got all of this stuff right here. This is white oak. I want to get this all done. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it done today, but I'm going to get a lot of it done. So everything in this row right here is white oak. Here's some hickory that just got tossed in from some of the other tree service stuff. But everything from way back there all the way up to here is all white oak. That's probably 3 loads. So there's probably somewhere in the range of 4 or 5, maybe even, yeah, it's at least 5. Might even be 6. Full cords, a bunch of wood. So here's the bin that I built yesterday, and I did the one load yesterday, and then I had a few leftover pallets I didn't put in because I'm going to extend this down a lot farther. But that is the bin, and it's going to work out great, and we're going to put a bunch of wood into it today. That is the plan. So it's time to fire up the Blockbuster 1520 plus HP. It has the 49 horse Doosan diesel on it. It is tremendous. The gas engine that we had on the 1412 works just fine, but it's a gas engine, so not quite as much power, not quite as much, what's the word I'm looking for? The diesel has more torque. That's the word I was looking for, torque. And it doesn't bog down at all when the saw is in the cut. It cuts faster. All the operations are faster, they're stronger. It just seems to work really good. So this machine is awesome. Boy, if you're looking at a, you know, not a bottom starting level processor, but not a big, huge monster, this thing is sweet. I really like it. I guess I said this before, if I had to buy one, if I was forced into it, I think this would be the one. This is nice. And I'm only gonna have this for a few months, couple months, and then it's going to be going to different shows and things, and it's going to be sold. Apparently they're selling a lot of the 1412s because we've done a bunch of videos on them. I think I've done 30 some videos that we had with the 1412, and then now this 1520, people are going to see it for the first time, and we're going to be a bunch of working videos, and it's been just excellent. We had no issues other than we had one little bitty leak in the hydraulic. I think this line right here was leaking, so Mike came and he put some Teflon on there. It wasn't leaking a lot, it was just a couple drips, but he redid it, the fitting, so it's working great. There's a little difference on the layout. We got the log and saw clamp right here, then the log trough right here. So what this lever does is this clamp will come down and then the saw comes down, all the same action, and then the trough in and out, that's the trough up there. And then the log deck right here, which is in and out for the logs. And then the slide tray or last cut tray. And that is that tray right there that comes in and out. And I hardly ever use it. I get asked all the time by guys, how come you never use that last cut tray? I'd use that all the time. No, you wouldn't. It's nice when you get big stuff that you can't reach in there and hold. Sometimes. But it's faster when you're processing is you bring it forward with your right hand. So right here, right hand like this, and you reach around here and you just grab the piece and hold it, let go and cut. And if you run your clamp, the log clamp, down fairly close to where it's just barely above it, you really don't need to use the tray. It's just faster and it's very easy. It's kind of a hands-on machine, which is great because you're in control all the time. It's easy to operate. There's not a lot of electronics on it, hardly at all. I mean, it's the starter and stuff like that. It's electronic. There's control for your motor's engine speed, stuff like that. But overall, super easy to operate. It's probably, I would say, I think it's it's the easiest processor I've ever run. You know, I've run a lot of processors at the shows. I've run probably 10 different ones, different models, different makes. Obviously, you see the Yappas at the shows. I've run those. Those are okay. I've seen Halverson. I've seen what's the new one? The Hurricane something. Typhoon, is that what it is? I don't know, I've watched all those. I've done videos on dozens of processors, and they're all okay. They're all just a little different. But this, it's just the easiest one to operate, I think, out of all of them. And it's basic. It's pretty simple because it's got basic hydraulics. It's the same motor up there as it is right there, as it is right there. So hoses are very simple. It's not that hard to figure out. And I am not a mechanic, as most of you know, and I can kind of figure out how it runs and when there's a problem. It's not that hard. Look at that. The audience is waiting for the show. There they are. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's one right here. Got a whole bunch of them. I think they must want food. That's usually what it is. All right, enough blabbering on. Let's do some loading and some processing. So there, I moved a whole bunch of stuff over there. And the only reason I did it, because normally I'll take a live deck full and then maybe a second live deck full out front, and then I process it and then take a break, load some more. Right when I was just about to quit, my regen light came on for the tractor, and like, it's just stupid because you got to run it at a high RPM. It takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. So I thought, well, if I'm burning fuel, I might as well be working. So I moved a bunch of this, probably 2/3 of it is over here. So we got it ready to go, and it's closer. So I figured, what the heck, you know, that regen is just, it's like the stupidest thing ever. Don't get it, but what do I know? I'm not an engineer. I know it's a government thing for pollution control. Well, you crank it up and you run it wide open, you're burning more fuel, you're putting more, it's just stupid. Okay, so I got all that moved here, I got this staged here, live deck is full. Now we can process wood. Well, there we go. The trailer is full, and that took me about 45, maybe 50 minutes. And the reason it took that long is I did all the resplits. I had some pretty big logs there, so I resplit probably 3/4 of the wood that I ran through. So that means I'm running the round through the wedge. It's an eight-way wedge, and then I would grab the pieces, flip them back through, and then resplit them. So it really almost doubles your time, but then it's done. All I got to do now is have the stuff go right up the elevator into the bin. Done. Don't have to do resplits. So I like doing it right the first time. Generally, what I used to do is I would just split it all, tip it up, and then I'd have my splitter right next to the trailer. And then as I found big pieces, we'd resplit it and throw it into the elevator and go up. Now with two guys, I think that's faster because you got two guys unloading, and one guy basically just kind of runs the lever and gets the stuff off of the splitter and then into the elevator. And the other guy can just unload or give him bigger pieces. But when you're by yourself like I am today, it's nice to just to have it done, because otherwise I'd have that splitter running the whole time while I'm unloading. And then probably if I wouldn't have done the resplits, like I said, like 3/4 of the wood that I processed here today in this load would have been resplit. Now, if I wasn't worried about making the size wood that I want to, I want stuff like this right here. This is a big one right here. This one probably should have been resplit. Matter of fact, I'm going to throw it over there and I will resplit it later. Show Bob. And so yeah, there's a lot of the stuff in here is like this size right here. This is about as big as I want it. That big right there. It's as big as I want it. I'd like it actually to be, let's find like an ideal size here. There's one right here. Of course it's wedged in there. Come on! See, like this right here. That's as big as I want them right there. That is just like perfect, because anybody can pretty much pick this up. Even a child could pick this up with two hands. And the small person, a lady of the house could pick this up, a kid could pick it up and put it into the fire. That's going to dry faster. It's easier to handle, plenty big. And a lot of people say, oh, that's toothpicks. I want big, bad, nasty bunches of boiler wood. Well, if you take this stuff and you pack it tight into your stove, you can make it burn just as long. Doesn't matter if the piece is this big or this big. If you take 20 of these, that adds up to this same amount of heat. Just saying. Okay, so now we're going to unload this, and then we're going to come back and do another load because it's still morning, and I'm going to go until I drop. Luckily, it's been cloudy, which is nice because it's supposed to be 90 degrees today. It is hot. I am sweating. There's not much of a breeze, but at least the sun's not beating on me, zapping me of my energy. Okay, let's go unload. Look at the beautiful pile of wood I have created. Now there was 2 trailer loads full in here when I started. I put 2 more in today, so that's 4, and the load's been huge. I'm pretty sure I've got close to 5 face cords, so it's more than a full cord and a half. So if it's 5 face cords, or 5/3, in the trailer at a time, and there's 4 of them, 5 times 4 is 20, so there's probably not quite 7 full cords in here. A little less than that, but it's a bunch of wood, so it's a good start. All really good oak. It's 95%, maybe 97.13721% of white oak and a little bit of red oak. Not too much. There's just a couple logs I saw as I was doing this. I moved the elevator again, you saw that, so I got that moved over. I did lubricate the shaft and the gears and stuff. I noticed it was a little squeaky when I first started it, so I lubricated everything, so it's going good. The new bin is going to be really nice. Here's all the kindling from the first 4 loads, and so you can see here the pallets are 3 wide, and I got 1 on top between the 2 outer ones. I'll go down to the other end so you can see. Well, maybe you won't be able to see it. Yeah, you'll be able to see it if I go right here. So you can see here I've got a side pallet on each side and then 1 on top like this. So I get a big space like that underneath. So, and I'm going to continue going out this way out to there with this bin. So I got to get all the oak in here. So I know I can fit 1 more load in here, and that's going to be about it for here. And then I got to get some more pallets because I still have, I'll go show you what I got left here. I'm thinking, from what I can see for the wood, there's at least 2 loads, more than likely 2.5. So the live deck is full. And yeah, I would say this is for sure 2, probably 2.5 loads. I'll have to get some more pallets pretty soon so I can add on to it. The sawdust, Mike came and got some today, so that's good. He came and filled up a whole bunch of grain bags, but I just keep filling it. So you can see this one's already full. Oh, I left my chainsaw sitting here. I gotta take that in. So you can see here how full this is getting. Look at that. So this needs to be pulled out because he got this one full. Mike took a bunch out of this one today. Yeah, he scooped a whole bunch out of there, and then this one's really full. And then I cut this one open. And I also cut this one open. Let's flip it up so you can see how I cut it. I just basically cut a window in it, and then it fits right up to there. And that way we can scoop in with a shovel if somebody wants to get some out, or that we can dump it out. But about halfway, and these are the bigger ones. These are the 330s or whatever they are, the bigger ones. And everything's going swimmingly. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to come back here bright and early because I only got about 3 hours tomorrow. Got to go to a get to go to a family reunion, so I get to see all my aunts and uncles and cousins for the first time in a very long time. So that'll be kind of cool. So I'm going to come in the morning. I'm going to do at least 1 load. I think first thing in the morning. I got to be done by 10:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. So I'm going to get here right away in the morning, get a load processed, and then into the bin. And then I'm going to go sit around and tell stories all day. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. I'm going to be here about 5:30 a.m. So you better be here. That's all I got for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, Irene.